Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So, it's the beginning of a new year, which means that, as tradition, there's a lot of political stuff that we gotta go over. So we're just gonna jump right into it. So we are going to start off with what offices will be up for election for this year, 2024. So, going from federal all the way to local, by looking at all that information, technically, between federal, state, and local, it's just only federal. So, everything else we don't care about. Although there is one local thing, for me at least, in my local area, where next year in 2025, we elect a new city treasurer. But that's different. We're not talking about that right now. So, on the federal level, we have, obviously, president is up for re-election, or just the office is up for election this year, obviously. And we have, let's see here. The entire House of Representatives is up for re-election. So all 435 seats are up for re-election for this year. However, I think somewhere I read that about 60 members of Congress are not running for re-election this year. So there's going to be a lot of new faces for the next Congress starting next year. Let's see here. And the Senate. So the way how the Senate is that the Senate is basically split up into 3 classes, as even as possible, according to the Constitution. And for this year, all Class 1 senators are up for re-election. Sorry about that, guys. So, what states are going to be having a Senate election this year? Well, they are, in alphabetical order, Arizona, California, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Hawaii, Indiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Dakota, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. Meaning, if you live in any of those 33 states, congratulations, you're going to be voting for a new senator or re-electing the same senator. Either way, you're voting for a senator for this year. And they will be either re-sworn in or just sworn in general next January. And then all Class 2 senators will be voted for in 2026, and Class 3 senators will be in 2028. So, yeah. So we're going to go over the current makeup of our federal government. Just so that way we can at least go over it. And there's a lot of changes and a few things we got to talk about. Unfortunately, it all has to do with, you guessed it, Congress. So, As of yesterday, we are in the second session of the 118th Congress. Alright, so we're going to start over with the Senate. As of the 3rd of October of 2023, we have 49 Republicans, 48 Democrats, and 3 independents with no vacancies. Do the Republicans control the Senate still? No, they don't. But the Democrats do, along with the 3 independents, because they kind of clause along with the Democrats. So in terms of the overall party makeup in the Senate, it's really 51 to 49. The Democrats control the Senate by 1 seat. Which technically, 51 is technically a simple majority in the Senate for anything. Just keep that in mind. A supermajority in the Senate, that's 67. Which is 2/3. So, the President pro tempore, which is the 4th most powerful person in our government, is currently Democratic Senator Patty Murray of Washington. And she's also the first female to ever hold that position. So, congrats to her. Current majority leader is Democrat Chuck Schumer of New York. Yeah, I have a lot to say about him, but we're going to move on. And current minority leader is Republican Mitch McConnell of Kentucky. There's a few things I can say about him myself, but we're going to move on. And like how I said before, there are no vacancies. So now we jump over to the other side of the building, to the House of the House of Representatives. As of New Year's Eve, December 31st of 2023, we have 220 Republicans, 213 Democrats, and 2 vacancies. What is the basic, just standard majority in the House? 218. So the Republicans have it by 2 seats. It's a 2-seat majority for the Republicans as of right now. House Speaker is currently Republican Mike Johnson of Louisiana's 4th District. Current Majority Leader is Republican Steve Scalise of Louisiana's 1st District. And the current Minority Leader is Democrat Hakeem Jeffries of New York's 8th District. And like how I said before, there are 2 vacancies. So we're going to kind of briefly go over each of those vacancies. So the first vacancy is New York 3, in which the incumbent of that seat, which is, George Santos, he got expelled from the House. Let's see here. The vote to remove him was 311 to 114. But he became the 6th member of the House of Representatives to be expelled, just in general. The first 3 were expelled for supporting the Confederacy. One was actually 2 were based on, bribery charges or cases. I don't remember exactly. And then George Santos with his scandals that he literally had. Literally in Congress for like not even 11 months and voted out by the House, by his own fellow delegates, well, members. So he was expelled on December 1st, and a special election will be held on February 13th. So, depending on who wins that special election, I will let you guys know, probably on Valentine's Day, on the results, or whenever a winner was declared and decided. Which means that person will have to run again in November to make sure that they just hold that seat. Alright, the second current vacancy is California 20, which is the one, the only, Kevin McCarthy. Yeah, he resigned from Congress. After being in Congress since 2007, which is like 18 years. He has been in Congress ever since my own congressman has, been in Congress. Because my congressman was first sworn in 2007 along with McCarthy. But now he chairs the Judicial Committee. But we're getting off topic here. So he resigned on New Year's Eve, December 31st of 2023. A special election is scheduled for his district, although they're saying it will be held more than likely sometime in May. So whenever that happens, I will have to just make a video about it, because right now the governor of California is trying to figure out when it's going to be, but more according to state law, it'll have to be sometime in May. So those are the two current vacancies. There are two other vacancies that will happen within the next few weeks. The next one will be Ohio 6, in which Republican Bill Johnson is going to resign on the 21st of January to become president of Youngstown State University. Yeah, he's going to be a college president. So he's going to resign, and then there's going to be a special election there. And, Ohio 6, that's pretty much eastern Ohio. So that's like around Marietta, Youngstown, that area. And then last we have New York 26, Democrat Brian Higgins. He plans to resign sometime in February to become president of Shia's Performing Arts Center. Now, according to what Wikipedia says, it's an art center in Buffalo, New York. So, yeah, he's going to become president of it when he leaves Congress. So currently Republicans are down 2, but we'll be down 1 more to be a total of 3 within the next few weeks. And Democrats are going to be down 1, so we're going to have 4 vacancies. And we'll have to see how that's going to play out. So now we go over to the executive branch. And there's actually not too many changes if I recall correctly. Oh boy. So, like always, Joe Biden's still president, Kamala Harris is still vice president, Mike Johnson is still speaker, Patty Murray is still president pro tempore, Antony Blinken is still Secretary of State, Janet Yellen is still Secretary of the Treasury, Lloyd Austin III is still House Defense, Attorney General is still Merrick Garland, Interior is Deb Haaland, Agriculture Tom Vilsack, Commerce is still Gina Raimondo, Secretary of Labor. So Julie Su is still acting. Still. I guess Biden is not concerned on naming a new Secretary of Labor, but yeah, she's still acting. Why? Your guess is about as good as mine. Let's see here. Health and Human Services, Xavier Baraka. Housing and Urban Development, Marcia Fudge. Transportation, Pete Buttigieg. Energy, Jennifer Granholm. Education, Miguel Cardona. Veterans Affairs, Dennis McDough. Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas. And for fun, Chief Justice, still John Roberts. And speaking of the Supreme Court, we're going to briefly go over the Supreme Court. Yay! What a great segue I always do in all of these. I mean, you guys know it. Just like before, no change. So pretty much everyone's still the same. I'm just going to go over all the members. I'm not going to go over who appointed them, the vote to get in, and how long they've been in office. I'm not going to do that. For at least not this time, but later on down the road, whenever something happens, I'll have to do it again. So I'm just gonna go over the names, and we'll just go from there. So Chief Justice still John Roberts, and then other members of the Supreme Court we have Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, Sonia Sotomayor, Elena Kagan, Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett, and Ketanji Brown Jackson, who is the most recent since June of 2022. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so we're gonna also kind of briefly go over some other stuff too. Presidential candidates. Like how I mentioned before in the beginning of this video, 2024 is a big election year for the President of the United States. So, out of the two main parties, and I guess a couple independents, where do we currently stand in terms of, candidates? For the Democrats, we only have 3 candidates. We have Marianne Williamson, current President Joe Biden, and current Congressman out of Minnesota, Dean Phillips. Who's winning in the Democrats? Well, take a guess. It's President Joe Biden. But according to 538.com, his current approval rating is roughly 39.5%. So yeah, his approval rating is really low, which is, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. For the Republicans, we have 6 candidates. We have former President Donald Trump, former Governor of South Carolina, Nikki Haley, Vivek Ramaswamy, former Governor of Arkansas, Asa Hutchinson. We have current Governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, and former Governor of New Jersey, Chris Christie. Who's winning for the Republicans? Well, take a guess. It's Donald Trump, as we are well aware. According to 538.com. Trump currently leaves with 61.8% in the polls.
This is a reminder. Record commentary.
Okay, ignore that, guys. I forgot my Alexa was plugged in.
This is a reminder. Record commentary.
So, yeah, that's kind of where we are right now.
This is a reminder. Record commentary.
Thanks. Oh, God. That's twice now in one video. What the hell? Anyways. We have two independents, because, why not? They might have a chance. We have Cornel West and Robert Kennedy Jr., who was under the Democrat ticket back in October. But he then decided to get off of that ticket and run as an independent. Don't ask me why, but... So who do I think is going to become the main candidates for each party? Well, for Democrats, it's obviously going to be Biden, because, he's trying to go up for re-election. Even though he doesn't have the exact, brain altitude to comprehend that. For the Republicans, it's more likely probably going to be Trump, but with all the, all the attempts to try to get him off of all the ballots. If he somehow is removed and he is deemed unworthy to be in actual, in the primaries and pretty much on the ballot at all, more than likely it will probably go to the next best Republican, which would be Governor DeSantis, who currently has 12.1% in the Republican polls. So, yeah, Trump kind of holds a very, very large lead over the rest of his competition. If it's not Trump, it's more likely going to be Ron DeSantis as the Republican frontrunner. Because, as we're well aware, the Republican Party is split between, the MAGA Republicans and, just the Republicans that are not in the MAGA movement. Okay. So, that's kind of where we're at for right now. Thanks so much for watching. Sorry this video was kind of long, and sorry I kind of rambled a lot in this. But, yeah, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow in a very, it's not really a special video, but we'll just see you, we'll see you in the video tomorrow. How about that? Alright, we'll see you then.